You know what blows my mind when I just sit here and I look at this Bitcoin chart? We're sitting just under $20,000, $18,500, right around there. And I look back and I just look back here, 2017, the bull market hype just going crazy. And the price all the way back then, like 5 years ago, the same. And we've been just tracking Bitcoin, Cardano, crypto for years. We've been on here together watching all of the volatility, the emotions. We've gone through the highs and the lows, the mountains and the valleys, all-time highs most recently, and we're back. After all that huge journey, we're back at the same price. It just absolutely blows my mind. And it just is a perfect illustration of how long this game is and how patient, if you're a macro investor, you need to be in this game of crypto. One thing I do want to note before I move on from that point real quick, we're here and it is the same price, but do not forget the fact that we are now in bear market formation range. We're now in oversold range. When we were hitting those bull market highs in the same price all the way back there in 2017, Bitcoin just off the charts in terms of being overbought. So from a macro perspective, it is one of the most notable data points throughout all of crypto. It's that. So I think we should pay attention to that. But Bitcoin falling right now on the weekly, and you can just see it's a big deal. I want to point something out because this is my thought. I don't follow Motley Fool articles a lot. It's all over the place. But I saw this article. I was like, you know what? That's like kind of what I've been thinking. They just put here, so what? The Federal Reserve had made no secret of its aggressive plans to fight inflation, so investors were already expecting a sizable rate hike. I'm online today. I'm just looking like everywhere, YouTube, Twitter, the news, everything. And I'm just like, I'm seeing everybody's like waiting in anticipation. And I know there was the question of, is it going to be 0.75 or is it going to be a whole point in terms of the interest rate hike? I get that. I think most people still knew it was probably going to be 0.75, but everybody knew this was going to happen today. Going into it for months now, we just know every meeting is going to kind of be like this. And it really makes you wonder, what's all that anticipation when it comes to the day of? What is that anticipation? That fear that's there. It's such an emotional driven market. The world is emotional right now. And it's actually even true outside of what we're looking at here, outside of interest rate hikes and crazy out of control inflation. While investors widely anticipated the rate hike, what they did not expect was the corresponding decline in the forecast for gross domestic product. The Fed released its summary of economic projections, which is now calling for GDP growth of just 0.2% for 2022. Given the already weak macroeconomic outlook, a long period of high interest rates could effectively push the country into recession. I mean, it's kind of up for debate whether we're going to enter a recession or if we're already in a recession. I mean, a lot of people would say that we're in a recession right now. So like, I think we can all agree that that's a very, very real possibility. It's a real scenario. We're in the recession. Like, we're there right now. The prospect that the battle to tame inflation will ultimately take longer than originally anticipated sent the major market indexes reeling. So that's the thing. It's the prospect that it's going to take longer. That's what people are scared of. They're scared of going through this emotional roller coaster ride. People want gains. People want certainty. They don't want this unknown environment at any given time. That's why when we're in a trend, when it's up, it's the best. Everybody's just cruising. The headlines are positive. Everything's good. But outside of even just everything we're talking about now, we have this. Russian stocks crash on signs Putin may escalate Ukraine war with military mobilization and Ukraine annexation. I mean, Russia-Ukraine war is going on, everybody, and it's not looking good. And that's a headline. That's looming over the entire globe right now. So on top of Bitcoin being in a bear market and inflation and just economies out of control, tumbling, we have this. And it's scary to have all of these things kind of culminating together. So here's Bitcoin on the weekly chart. I continue to say, my biggest thing right now is for the short term, I want to see what happens with this tomorrow. S&P 500 equity markets when we have these big news events and the markets close, it's kind of like we wait in crypto in anticipation to see what traditional markets are going to be doing. S&P 500 here. And oftentimes after we get that quick burst of fear in the markets, we have a red day across markets today. After we get that quick hit of fear, markets sometimes just turn around, right? So it will be very interesting to see if they kind of start cruising to the upside, bouncing off of that fear. Because right now, if we take the swing low back here in June to that swing high rally to the 200-day moving average, we have S&P 500 testing a very critical 786 line of support. I mean, it's just hovering above. Tomorrow, are we going to get a wick below and maybe a bounce right back up, kind of a strong daily close to kind of see support at the 786 line, that 786 line right around 3780 or so. So that's the biggest thing, because what that does will dictate what Bitcoin does. And the biggest thing on Bitcoin charts that I just want to point out is this. Right now, Bitcoin hovering just above that massive 786 line on the macro Fibonacci. And we're talking like it's 5-6% away from that area. The reason why it's so important, I continue to talk about these macro Fibonacci's for years, because this is from a historical data point on the charts. If we're using technical analysis, this data point, the 786 line, is the area Bitcoin bottomed out, capitulating below that area, and it's just not happened yet. The macroeconomic landscape of everything happening right now sets this up for Bitcoin, in my view. I'm not saying that it's definitely going to happen, because guess what? I have no idea. But I just know in my mind, I am so ready for that. I've been anticipating a fall below that 786 line around $17,000. And right now, the setup is there from all perspectives. It's just there. So it's not like it's gonna happen this week. I'm just saying I'm ready and waiting for that. And these are the biggest things I'm watching for. So on the short term, I'm watching traditional markets tomorrow, and I really want to see how S&P 500 opens tomorrow. Moving on, everybody. All of this happening, if you're a Cardano ADA holder, are you serious right now? All of this happening, Cardano tomorrow going through its biggest upgrade. You might be watching this video right now and it's like today. It's happening today. And actually, if you're going to be tracking this, if you're an ADA holder, I'm releasing this video tomorrow. I put a lot of work into this. This is covering the Vaso hard fork, what it is, what the hard fork means, who Vaso was, the updates within it, explaining what it entails and what it's going to do for Cardano. So please, I will be launching this video when Vaso hard fork launches, like right at the same minute. I'm gonna try. And when you see this video, turn those notifications on. Please hit that play button, check it out, hit that like button for me, because I'm excited about putting this video out. So, but here are the headlines: Cardano Vaso hard fork launching tomorrow. Here's what you need to know. This goes over some of those things. Vaso is expected to bring improvements to make the blockchain more scalable and efficient and lower transactions costs. It's nice, everybody. If you're an ADA holder, it is really good to see this. This is a huge upgrade, but we cannot be mistaken. All data points to actually ADA falling actually after this upgrade, and I'm going to explain why that is in this video. So to kind of segue into that, first thing is we saw what happened with Ethereum hard fork, right? Ethereum hard fork. What are you talking about, Dan? It's the Ethereum merge. Come on. So Ethereum merge on, what was it, the 15th? Was it the 15th when the merge was? Look at this red candle. So biggest update for Ethereum, obviously, in all of its years in existence. And look, it's just been down since. So this is a very perfect illustration of, in the short term, when these protocols are getting huge upgrades, it really doesn't matter the upgrade itself. What matters is the macroeconomic landscape of what's happening. What matters is equity markets, because this space under $1 trillion market cap, and then Ethereum specifically $165 billion, the huge markets full of trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, they don't care about Ethereum and its merge, right? If we're crypto holders, we're kind of in this little bubble. It's a very big deal from a macro perspective. It means a ton. It has a huge impact on the trajectory of Ethereum. The same is true for Cardano's Vaso upgrade. But the world and everything going on right now doesn't care about the Ethereum merge. And it's such a small new early stage tech, and it really is. I know it's been around for years, but this is why these things happen in the short term. It's dictated by what markets are doing. So merge is there, it's huge, but markets are down in general, so crypto's down. And so we need to keep that in mind. Now, on top of that, if we look at Cardano on the zoomed out charts, you all know, if you've been watching these videos, we've been tracking Cardano into these hard fork events, and we were spoiled. I don't know how else to say it. We were spoiled in the previous 3 hard fork events. Shelly, we got the pump going into Shelly. We got the pump going into Mary Hard Fork, and then Alonzo. But I think it's really important to note this, and we have to pay attention to this. We didn't get the pump going into Vasil, but we got strong sideways within a bear market, right? I think ADA might have performed worse. We might have broken this trend line already and seen a lot of separation already if Vasil Hard Fork wasn't upcoming. That's a good possibility. So we're in a bear market, and this is new data, but this hard fork event might have kept ADA pretty strong. You know, trading against ADA BTC pair. Here's the ADA USD pair, trading kind of sideways. So that's number one. But the other thing is this: we have to make a note of this. After every previous hard fork, and this was in kind of a more bullish environment, except for Alonzo, this was actually entering the bear market. But previous hard forks, what happened? ADA price fell, and so we really have to just kind of keep that in mind, right? And we have to watch equity markets and you know, S&P 500. We're going to look at those charts. But if markets kind of continue to just tumble in general, ADA coming out of this hard fork event could see a pretty big capitulation. And it's something I want to be prepared for. It's something I am prepared for. Now, alternatively, I'm telling you, it would be incredibly interesting to see how this data plays out, because now that the hard fork event is here and we have had 3 consistent falls after previous hard forks, what if something diverges from that, right? And this is why we gather the data. This is why we anticipate both scenarios. So maybe markets pump tomorrow, and because of Vasil hard fork, people are bullish and it pumps. Or maybe markets fall, and since it's post hard fork, maybe Cardano actually underperforms against all markets. This is what I'm watching. I don't sit here saying I know what's going to happen, because I don't. I am just that person out here that tracks this. I track the data, I visualize, and I anticipate every scenario, because that's where the power is, everybody. There's so many people consistently in my comments that make fun of me because I say I don't know. They make fun of me because I give 2 scenarios, but I just smile, because I want them to learn that that's where the power is to succeed in crypto. It is with that approach, that anticipation approach. And this is how we really do actually anticipate bottoms of bear markets, and how we anticipate tops of bull markets, and how we plan our exits in bull markets and take profits. So, you know, we're going to track the data. We're going to see how this plays out. It's a big deal though, everybody. I'm telling you, if you're an ADA holder and you zoom out on this chart, forget the short term right now. It's a bear market. We got to survive it. But on the long term, what the Vasil hard fork means for Cardano, it is huge. And it's going to be epic in terms of the macro growth of ADA on this chart. And Vasil hard fork, it plays a very big part of that story, the value that will come on chain. And we cannot ignore that, even though oftentimes we're zoomed in. We have to zoom out. So those are my thoughts, everybody. Make sure, remember tomorrow, check out this Vasil hard fork video I'm dropping tomorrow once the Vasil hard fork is initiated and we have that rocket launch. And right now, hit that like button. I appreciate you. I will see you all in the next video. Have an awesome night or day. God bless.